We now move to the Southwest, and we have the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, Governor of Ondo State, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko. Thank you.
Chairman Governors Forum, Chairman PDP Governors Forum, distinguished Nigerians, gentlemen of the press. Let me first by saying that I welcome all of you to the southwest of Nigeria, the most sophisticated, the most politically developed part of Nigeria. And if there is any part of this country that is going to bust the propaganda of APC, it will be Southwest, because of our level of political sophistication. But permit me to say that I'm glad to be here, to have this opportunity to be part of this interaction. It's all about sustenance of democratic values and national development. Let me also welcome in the House the Secretary to Government of the Federation and some of the ministers of our Federal Republic, Minister of Works, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Power, among other high-octave performing ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I welcome you. One thing one cannot take away from President Jonathan and this administration is that there is empirical evidence, undeniable empirical evidence, that in terms of performance, and I'm happy you are here, gentlemen of the press, in terms of physical development, in terms of empirical evidence that we have on ground, I dare say, I posit, that there is no precedent since 1999 that has come too close to President Jonathan. I had the privilege and the opportunity of watching on television the interactive session Mr. President had with the press here in Lagos. And some of his ministers made presentation. For example, in Works, yesterday I left Akure for Lagos. And as I was driving along Lagos-Ibadan Road, and I told myself inside me that we must thank God for his mercies when I saw the quality of job that is being done on that road. That road is reputed to be the busiest highway in Africa. And I said this to my God, if only for this road, Jonathan will come back to complete Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. I don't want to go into details of all the others. I had a post-converb summit a few days ago for the youth of the Southwest. And one young lady came up. And he said she wanted the answer to a problem. That every December, the price of rice will always go up. Every December. So this December, she said, what happened? Naira is falling. That is, dollar is appreciating relative to Naira. And rice is essentially an import commodity. Now, how come this December of all years, the price of rice stood at about 7,000, 8,000? In previous years in December, 12,000, 15,000. The answer is simple. Local production has increased tremendously. Thank you, Minister and President. Like I have said, in every aspect, empirically, do we need to talk about power? Yes, we are not there yet, and we'll not get there overnight. And I think it is almost dishonest of anybody to say that within 1 year, 2 years of this privatization exercise going on, and this very credible power roadmap, that suddenly things will turn around. I know for sure, and most Nigerians who are discerning, especially when you see the follow-up to the privatization, how the challenges of the different companies have been addressed. The single-minded pursuit of efficiency in the power sector. I have no doubt in my mind. I'm a scientist and I can do analysis that in the next couple of years, even Nigeria will take power for granted. Thank you, Prof, for what you are doing and for what Mr. President is doing. But my concern today is talking about democratic values. What looks like the intangibles, things that you don't think matters, things that you take for granted. But these are the issues that actually deepen democracy in this country. And I start by rule of law, for example. For the first time, perhaps, in the history of this country, there's predictable hierarchical movement in our judiciary. Gone are the days when the next appointment is due. People will start to think, who will be the next Chief Justice of Nigeria? Who will be the next one? Since Jonathan has come on board, he has respected that hierarchical structure in the judiciary. That is independence of judiciary. And if you think it does not matter, you need to see other climb where you pick number 20 and 1 to 19 have to retire automatically in an area that is as important, as critical for democracy as the judiciary. We talk about estates of the realm. I've talked about the executive and anybody, and we stand to be challenged. The clueless man has posted so much achievement that those who have clue are even afraid to debate him. So in the executive realm, Jonathan earns a PhD in Nigeria at that time. In my time, the smartest of us were the ones who got a degree in Nigeria. And if you are as smart as me, you probably get it from Obafemi University in Ife. Jonathan's PhD is in Nigeria. That is why he's comfortable with the caliber of people in his cabinet. That is why he's comfortable with the Prophet Noble, he's comfortable with Akimi, he's comfortable with the Commissioner of Wars, he's comfortable with Ngozi. Because, and that is why he has allowed them to blossom. If Jonathan had some inferiority complex, the story would not be the same. He promotes members of his cabinet. So the first SS is running well. Nobody in Nigeria today will deny the fact that Jonathan has allowed the National Assembly to be. Because you cannot talk about democracy without talking about separation of powers. It's a very fundamental principle of these values. If you are a chief executive and you are interested in controlling the parliament, you will be acting against the fundamental tenet of democracy. He has been so detached to the extent that even the speaker who was elected on the platform of PDP, before he finally took his leave of PDP, was for all practical purposes an APC speaker. As a matter of fact, some of the chieftains of APC I know, if you exchange position and they are president, nobody will dare that with them. You agree with me? Those are intangibles that are very important. Allowing this separation of power to be, we will give Jonathan high marks on that. I've talked about the judiciary. How about the press? The fourth and the most powerful estate of the realm. The ones that determine, create, sustain what value they want to sustain and hack down those ones they are not interested in. As a matter of fact, part of the challenge of PDP, and each of us will know what I'm talking about, is that Jonathan has not done enough in terms of engaging the press. But the man is old school of sorts, that my work will be so apparent that will talk for me. And the work is apparent, it's there, but a little more engagement. But the point is that it is on record that not for once has Jonathan attempted or tried to gag or harass the press. Democracy it's not about building roads. It's not even about building power. These intangible